Stadium. The house that Johnny built is right here, and it's going to be rocking tonight.
Way down where the sun shines hot, dogs on the porch, gators in the water. We come up a little different around here.
This is SEC Saturday night.
We got a little dirt road dust running through our blood from a never heard of it hometown. I got a can't quit hard and some take it too far and a whole lot of never back down. If you come around here, better bring it, cause we're no doubt gonna put a little south on you.
SEC Saturday night is presented by T-Mobile. This is Kyle Field, home of the 12th man in a program that is playing with momentum. The Aggies, 17th ranked team in the country. They play host to the South Carolina Gamecocks in a series that the Aggies have dominated. They have yet to lose to South Carolina. One of the best entrances in college football. Jimbo Fisher leading his Aggies down the tunnel and onto the field here at Kyle Field. Here come the Aggies. Man, what a scene here in Aggieland and at Kyle Field, where Texas A&M has seized momentum, back-to-back wins in conference play, including something nobody else has, a win against Alabama. Welcome, everybody. What a great night for football. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kublik down on the field. Thanks for being with us tonight. This resurgence for Texas A&M after back-to-back losses has come with Zach Calzada at the controls. He's the only one who's beaten Alabama this year. He's had the highest of highs. He's also had some lows.
A little bit of a roller coaster ride, right? I mean, he's extremely talented, a rocket of an arm. The running game has come along. We saw that last week, but there's been inconsistencies with Zach Calzada's game. And if they're going to be dominant running the football, he's got to, at best, just be efficient with the football, especially in the short passing game. I look for him to make some strides there tonight.
Expectations were through the roof with this A&M team coming into the season after a number 4 national ranking to close last year. Cole, big expectations for the offensive line. Have they lived up to them?
Not quite yet, Tom, and I think it's just because of how much things have changed. They've started a different offensive line lineup in all but 2 games, but now things are almost back to normal. Kenyon Green is back at left guard, and he's giving DBs free rides to the sideline, putting his belly on them. Jameer Johnson with a little oomph in pass protection. Pass pro is not passive, by the way. Layden Robinson back healthy at right guard. He's smushing guys off the edge. This offensive line, Tom, Jordan mentioned the run game, getting back, getting going. That group is a big reason why, and that man, Kenyon Green right there, is a bigger reason why.
Contrary to what you might think, Cole doesn't love pancakes for breakfast, only for football. He's more of a breakfast taco kind of guy. So A&M playing well up front as of late. And on the other side, maybe the best story in college football, Zeb Nolan at quarterback for South Carolina. Started with a whistle around his neck. Now he's got the team playing behind him.
Yeah, it'd be real easy going from a GA at South Carolina to the starting quarterback to say he's like a coach on the field, but that's exactly what he is. Shane Beamer mentioned it this week, what he's able to do at the line of scrimmage. Getting this football team in the right plays, consistency, that is going to help this South Carolina offense take the next step.
Aggies won the toss. They elected to defer, so South Carolina will receive. The weather is very summer-like, but it's awfully windy in here today. Kickers had a hard time pregame. There may be some rain in the forecast. Juju McDowell back to receive. Caden Davis with a big leg to get us started, and they'll have to hold it on the tee. Underway in Aggieland. And a chance for a return for McDowell. 5'6" freshman upended by the kicker at the 35-yard line. Caden Davis redirected him. Well, it's been quite a ride for Zeb Nolan. Played for his dad at Coney County High School outside of Athens, Georgia. Went to Iowa State where he started against Oklahoma and Kyler Murray. Ended up at North Dakota State through the spring. Wanted to get into coaching. Came to Columbia as a graduate assistant and held that title through the summer. Well, until they needed a quarterback. And the rest is history. Led the Gamecocks to a game-winning drive in the final minute against Vanderbilt last week. And he's playing in front of a packed house at A&M tonight. Backward pass to Juju McDowell. Finds just one. Here's how South Carolina lines it up. A rebuilding program needing a little bit more help on the offensive line, but a steady backfield with running backs. Marcus Satterfield, first-year play caller, 13th in the SEC in total offense. Had just enough offense to knock off Vandy last week. Another 2nd and 9, and McDowell ripped down by DeMarvin Leal.
Yeah, DeMarvin Leal is a guy to keep your eye on tonight. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the entire country, and South Carolina is going to have to make sure, especially on third downs, that they know exactly where number 8 is and they double team or slide the protection to him as much as possible.
Steve Marlowe, our referee tonight.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh yeah, it gets those hands up and around. It doesn't even necessarily have to be all the way into those pads. It's anywhere around that nameplate. They're going to call that, so that's the right call.
Misconstrued by a lot of fans who are looking for hands to be inside the shoulder pads, which was why it was originally brought in as a rule, but they've expanded it. Into A&M territory, Jaheim Bell, the talented tight end, will get a touch and has nowhere to go. Gets stood up, and it'll be a loss of 2. Antonio Johnson all over that one.
Yeah, and there's Tyshawn Wanamaker starting at right tackle in place of Dylan Wanham, out for the 2nd straight game. He's going to get matched up on Michael Clemens, DeMarvin Leal, a few different guys for A&M. Keep an eye on that right side. You see a lot of quick throws early for South Carolina, trying to make sure that these A&M defensive linemen can't just get after the quarterback on a deep drop.
Another tight end, Nick Muse, in motion. Nolan will hand it off, and not much daylight. Michael Clemens at 6'5", 270 fills the hole after a gain of 3 by McDowell.
All right, 3rd and long here. These are those situations, talking to offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield, that Zeb Nolan's going to get to the line of scrimmage. He's going to find number 8, and he's going to slide the offensive line in his direction. You see right now, DeMarvin Leal right over the ball.
Tough to slide the protection there.
Very tough. I like what A&M's doing, moving him around early.
Nolan, pocket collapsing, and fires it short and incomplete. They brought pressure from the right side.
Yeah, so they put DeMarvin Leal right over the ball, and what does that do? That means they get a little double team right here, and that's where the pressure comes to replace it. Right there. And that's the thing, sometimes when you got a player like DeMarvin Leal, you can use him almost as a decoy, right? You know the offensive line is going to go after him. You attack the void when they double team 8.
The speedy Anaya Smith back to receive this punt from Kai Kroger. Smith takes it at the 5. Gets through initial traffic. Now he's looking for a block. Anaya Smith trying to get around the punter. It's now a foot race. They won't get him. Anaya Smith, 95 yards. He is as versatile as you will find in college football. We talked to him yesterday. What do you like better? Special teams, offense, what area? He goes, actually, I love playing defense. Might try him on that side too. Point after good. What a start for A&M. 95-yard punt return for Anaya Smith. The Aggies have turned to special teams to get on the board after an early surge from Carolina.
Verizon got you paying more.
It's the third longest punt return in A&M history. Bob Good holds the record in 1945 against Ellington Field. He went 98. Anaya Smith takes this one 95. The special teams breakdown for the Gamecocks. Let's take a look at how this occurred.
You know, when you're as dynamic of a playmaker as Anaya Smith, sometimes rules don't apply to you. You should not catch this ball inside the 5, but the block here by Deuce Harmon allows him to catch this ball at the 5 under pressure, and then from there, that's just Anaya Smith. That's why he's one of the most dynamic guys in the entire country. You put the ball in his hands, he's going to make something happen. Outside that first block, there really wasn't another block that was made. It was all zero making the play.
He had an easier time with that traffic than he did getting over to the facility yesterday. Got stuck in traffic on the way over for our late afternoon meetings. Didn't even get stuck behind a train, which can happen in both of these cities. Here's Zeb Nolan, and he takes it for 4. The Zeb Nolan story has been written about throughout college football. I still feel like it's unappreciated. The only reason they saw him throw for the first time is they were working out a tight end, and they can't have active players throw to the kid, so they brought Zeb Nolan out. He's a graduate assistant. He looked so good that Marcus Satterfield said, man, it's really a shame you don't have another year left. He turned over his shoulder. He said, no, coach, I got another year. Satterfield sprints into Beamer's offense, says, I think we got a quarterback. Complete, but a flag on the play. To Xavier Legette. I mean, it's just an unbelievable story. He thought his playing career was done, and now here he is starting in front of 100,000.
Offense number 62, 10-yard penalty, second down.
And Sean Wanamaker, you bragged about early, gets flagged.
Yeah, he's going to have a long day. This defensive line for A&M's really good. But back to Zeb, I was asking him, you know, when you made the decision to kind of hang it up, were you still throwing or anything? He's like, no, I stopped throwing. You know, as a quarterback, I'm like, I can relate to that. I didn't want to pick up a football once I hung up the cleats, but they had depth issues at quarterback. They needed somebody for fall camp, and Zeb Nolan fell into their lap, and he has been a blessing, a coach on the field.
Luke Doty had foot surgery earlier this week. He's out for the year. They ended up splitting time at quarterback. Clemens looks like he's coming from the edge on 2nd and 16. Nolan steps up, trying to scramble, and he goes down sandwiched amongst Maroon, Aaron Hansford, and Jalen Jones. It's a gain of 8.
That's not something they're going to major in with Zeb Nolan. Talking to Shane Beamer, he mentioned, actually I think it was Marcus Satterfield that said, not a lot of zone read. When Zeb gets out of the pocket, it's like he's pulling a wagon. Not the fastest guy, but when you can make a few plays with your legs when the pocket breaks down, that's all you need to do in a big third down here as the crowd is getting into it early.
Not a good screen team in a screen spot. Only 14 screens on the season for South Carolina.
Flip to the outside. That's complete to Juju McDowell. And Zeb Nolan is down. Talk about a position Carolina could not afford to go to a replacement. Another maroon sandwich.
A little pump and go on the outside, trying to hit something downfield. That's just his check down, but a lot of pressure coming off the edges from DeMarvin Leal and Michael Clemens.
Anaya Smith already has 1 punt return for a touchdown. Took 195 yards. If he does it again, it will be a shorter trip to the end zone. It comes down short. Carolina downs it at the 30, a 39-yard punt that time. We will see the Aggies offense for the first time right after this.
The SEC taught us that
Zach Calzada, sophomore from Sugar Hill, Georgia, owns a win against Alabama this year. Threw for 285, and that one he was magnificent late. Last 2 drives, 6 of 8 for 90 yards and a touchdown that was after he had seemingly gotten hurt on the touchdown pass, got him into field goal range, and they won it.
I thought he was just brilliant. Accuracy under pressure was unlike I had seen from him ever. This throw right here, as big as he has ever made in his entire career. Those are the highs we're talking about. There have been some lows, but if he can find some middle ground there, A&M is going to be poised to continue a run late into the season.
They've leaned on the running game, and for good reason. 52nd in the country, 174 yards on the ground. They've got Spiller and A-Chain back there, both of them wickedly talented, as Isaiah Spiller pounds out an 8-yard gain.
Number 19, Brad Johnson.
Jimbo plays is the play caller, 8th in the SEC in rushing, 12th in passing. Scored 27 points a game. And they'll keep it on the ground with Isaiah Spiller. And he will reach the line to gain for a fresh set of downs. Cole, you mentioned that this A&M offensive line is coming together. They haven't played a whole lot of snaps together over the course of the season. Where is their strength?
I think right now it's in the middle, because you got Kenyon Green at left guard and Leighton Robinson at right guard. Robinson had an ankle early in the season, was dinged up, and Kenyon Green's just moved all over the place. Having those two guys to lock down the middle of that offensive line, I think, is where the strength is at. Now, Jameer Johnson's played really nice at left tackle, and he's been in and out of the lineup. And you got a true freshman over on the right side in Ruben Fatherly. But no doubt, Tom, the middle is where the strength of that offensive line is right this second.
Calzada zipped that one through the hands of Jalen Weidermeyer. He's got a pretty good fastball. Might want to mix in a changeup.
Yeah, and that's when he's got to understand when to throw a little bit more of a catchable ball on some of those shorter routes. That one right there, I think Weidermeyer should have caught that, but you'll see a few times tonight.
Gets a 4-man rush. Here's Spiller out of the backfield and taken down by the first and only man there. And a nice stop by Carlins Platel.
That route right there, I was just talking down on the field to James Coley, the tight end coach, and to Daryl Dickey. That route, that little wide route by the running back, he missed that twice last week. Just really bad throws. Out in front of the running back, didn't lead him, not enough touch on it. Now early in the game, nice completion to the outside. That'll help that confidence grow.
Second consecutive play, 85 has been over 1 as well.
Calzada looking down the middle of the field. He will whistle one wide. It is intercepted by South Carolina off the bobble. It's the 5th of the year for Jalen Foster. Marcellus Dial set him up, and Foster, who's one of the best in the country, now takes a national lead in picks with his 5th.
Yeah, what a ball player
Field is an interception.
Foster is for this defense. This is an anticipation throw here by Calzada. He's got to let this ball go before Anaya Smith comes out of his break, and that's a hard one. If the receiver doesn't work directly back down towards the quarterback, you see Anaya Smith works down towards the end zone, not down towards the quarterback. Calzada leaves it a little inside because of that, just a miscommunication, and South Carolina capitalizes.
Foster started his career at Gardner-Webb 2 seasons ago, special teams only. Now he's turned into one of the best takeaway artists in college football. Deep backfield for Carolina. It's now Marshawn Lloyd in at running back. Nolan hands it off, and he lost his footing. What about Zeb Nolan after taking that hit on the last possession?
It didn't look good. He kind of got sandwiched. It almost looked like the first hit from behind propelled him into Michael Clemens. And I tell you what, it looked like the lights went out for a second. He was on the sidelines. His nose was bleeding a little bit. Good to see him back out there, but keep an eye on that as A&M continues to put pressure on him.
He wants to throw over the middle, open. That's delivered on time for a South Carolina first down to Josh Vann. Last possession ended with this.
Yeah, watch how the hit from behind propels him into Clemens right there. And the way he falls, it sure looks like the lights came out. Went out for a second there, right?
He did receive some attention from the medical staff, from the sideline guys. Looked like he had a bit of a bloody nose, had a towel, was wiping some blood off. Trainers came over, kind of checked it out.
Comes from a football family. His dad, Travis, quarterback at Appalachian State. Great high school coach. It's outside of Athens, Georgia. The snap hit the receiver and hits the ground. South Carolina lucky to fall on it. Amarian Brown was coming in motion and was in the wrong spot.
As It's just a little return motion. He's going to go across the center and come back, but you have to time that up perfectly. Maybe he actually wasn't supposed to come back. The way Zeb Nolan clapped it, it appeared he thought he was going to keep going in that same direction. Obviously, confusion.
Shane Beamer and Marcus Satterfield want to use motion. They want to use shifts and formation changes. Try to gain an advantage. Play clock at 3. Pocket holds. Nolan fires deep. Too far and wide. Trying to find Brown.
Way out of bounds there, but already seeing a little bit of a trend on that play. Marshawn Lloyd, the running back, helped chip on DeMarvin Leal. So it looks like they're going to try to double team DeMarvin Leal with a tackle and a tight end or a running back. And here on third down, you're going to see DeMarvin Leal working on the left tackle. Jazz team turn time. And let's see if they give running back help or leave him on an island down here. This is the matchup to watch.
Running backs on the other side to start. 3rd and 12. And it's a design run all the way, and Marshawn Lloyd picks just a couple. Zeb Nolan, right before that snap, turned to the sideline, actually before the personnel change came in, and was sending a signal to the sideline. It's not very often a quarterback's telling the sideline what play he wants to run.
Not at all. And speaking with Marcus Satterfield and Shane Beamer about what is different with Zeb Nolan, a lot of times the alerts, the kills, the checks at the line of scrimmage, he will do himself. They don't need to look to the sideline and get a play. So sometimes he might say, hey, we're good, I got it.
And Smith's punt return score was a first for A&M since Christian Kirk in 17. He'll take a fair catch here, and Zach Calzada will return.
Yeah, and this offense has been using wide receiver motion at a high frequency. It does one of two things. It either helps you steal space. That's the first thing. Right here, you're going to see all 3 defenders bump wide. The route comes inside. Because of that motion, you stole some space and attacked it the way you want. Or you're going to steal eyes. Look at this return motion by Ainias Smith. You see 2 guys are going to pay attention to Ainias Smith. They're going to forget about A-Chain, who, oh, by the way, has Olympic speed running right by them. So motions by the wide receiver. 36 times over the last 2 games. All the games previously, less than 10.
And that's really weird for a team to kind of reinvent itself in the sense that as Spiller takes this one out for a 6-yard gain, they could have used that in the 2 losses to Arkansas and Mississippi State. It's not like they came in undefeated against Alabama and then threw a wrinkle in.
Nope, they used a lot of motion in those games, but it was strictly running back and tight end. Arkansas and Mississippi State, only twice did a receiver ever go in motion in those 2 games. And like I said, in the last 2, 36 times, those motions help Zach Calzada see the coverage, understand it before the snap. So it's helped him progress his game.
Spiller gets hands on him after a gain of just 1. Nice play by the South Carolina D-line. Jabari Ellis. Call that D-line for South Carolina the strength not only of that unit, but probably the team.
I don't think there's any doubt. Jabari Ellis, the guy you saw there make that play, he's kind of one of the heartbeats of this team. Just a high-energy, high-motor guy. But Kingsley Enagbare, one of the leaders of this team, Zach Pickens, has had a great year. I think the South Carolina team, Tom, you're right, has kind of gone as the defensive line has.
Ellis had a fumble recovery to seal the win against Vanderbilt a week ago today.
They're going to get man coverage on the outside, so running situation 3rd and short here, but if they choose to pass, they got options.
Calzada dancing around, fires complete. Pick up a 5, able to find Caleb Chapman.
Well, great job staying calm after the initial reaction. This has been something that Zach Calzada has done. He's going to try to leave the pocket. He doesn't need to yet, right? He realizes that, gathers himself, gets his eyes back downfield. Something to watch, though. He will drop his eyes a little early at times and run when he doesn't have pressure on him. Something I talked to Daryl Dickey about on the field earlier.
I want to come back to that after this 1st and 10 play for Calzada as they send trips to the top. And he finds Ainias Smith, breaks a tackle, trying to find the sideline, and Smith with a flag coming in at the end picks up 17. Why is Zach Calzada so hesitant to stay in the pocket? It's not like he's a running quarterback. No. That's not his skill set. So as a big, strong-arm guy, why leave early?
Well, I think it's for a quarterback, it's when you're not comfortable with what you're seeing.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 28. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
As a quarterback, when you're not comfortable with what the coverage is post-snap, the route concepts, adjusting, everything starts to speed up. And then you start to panic about what's in front of you. The more comfortable you are, the more in rhythm you are. So talking to Daryl Dickey, he said, we'll just start showing him the good throws when he's in rhythm, when he's in balance, when the pocket's clean, he steps up and makes a throw to try to reinforce that. It's not really a way to coach it physically. Yeah. It's more between the ears.
Flush from the pocket here. And you see he's got an arm that can bail him out. Off balance, they say it was juggled and incomplete before Demas gained control. He was out of bounds.
And this is why it's a little dangerous, right? Because this is a great job. He's got pressure by J.J. Enochbury on his left side. So it's a great time to leave the pocket and an accurate throw that was juggled by Demas. So it's a balancing act, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at practice, sometimes A&M will say, hey, Zach, you cannot leave the pocket in this period, right? Just to try to coach that, force him to do it. But at times like that, you also want him to be a football player. So it's a balancing act.
And you're talking about building confidence. Jimbo Fisher is notoriously tough on his quarterbacks. Here's Spiller, breaks through right up the middle, and he carries Gamecocks with him for a pickup of 19.
Great job up front here. A lot of push. There's a lot of bodies in there. You see all the A&M linemen a hat on a hat. And Spiller did a great job of being patient, right? Not panicking initially and finding that hole as it opened up.
A&M is 18-3 in Spiller's career when he touches the ball 15 times or more. Got another one here. And he's got it inside the 20. A&M took advantage of a porous Missouri run defense, which allows about 300 yards a game, to gash the Tigers right up the middle. Spiller had one of those. Ended with 168 yards and the touchdowns against Mizzou.
Holding. Offense number 81. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Junior Caleb Chapman gets flagged for that one. He'll come back.
Hate to see that hold, but you love to see 81 back in the lineup for Texas A&M. Damian Craig telling me before the game that he was excited to see what Chapman was going to be able to do in his first action.
And remember, back to when he got hurt against Florida last year, he was their leading receiver. Just 5 catches so far this year. But if he can get back feeling 100% and back to being a focal point in this offense, he's a big-time deep threat, and he'd be a great complement to Anaya Smith, who works on the inside, Chapman working on the outside.
Just his 3rd game of the year. Spiller with a gain of 9. Cole Spiller is a physical back, 6'1", 215, but you see him out of pads as we did at their walkthrough yesterday. He doesn't look like a big workhorse running back, even though the numbers would suggest otherwise.
No, and I think it's one of the most impressive things about his career, Tom, is how he changed his body after year 1. He looked a little bit like a lumberer in his first year at Texas A&M, trimmed down a little bit year 2, and he's trimmed down even more now. And that's why you see that lateral quickness, able to utilize that patience, wait for a play to develop, then get north and south.
Been a great player for a long time. Dave Campbell's first team in the state coming out of high school, and lost the football late. Did anybody recover it? I didn't hear a whistle. And they say he was indeed down after the first half carry.
The ball carrier down. First down.
Damani Staley ended up with the football.
See if we can see knee down there. Tough to see if the ball started moving before that.
They're going to take a look at it upstairs. Collaborative replay, obviously, with help back in Birmingham, but Gerald Hodges, friend from East Tennessee, in the booth tonight.
The previous play is under further review.
It's a great job by Zach Pickens there. He engages with Spiller, knows he's got help coming, so he goes right for the ball with that left hand.
So there's going to be a few different things they're looking at. Number one, was the ball out before he was down? That is first and foremost. And then, was there a clear and immediate recovery? If the whistle had been blown at that point, and I'm not sure it had been, you see Staley ended up with it.
That's pretty immediate there. Obviously, this will be a good look here.
I got a knee down, but we don't know where the ball.
Yeah, there's just not a good look to see if that ball is moving or not.
The way the ball came out, with the force it came out, it leads me to believe that the ball was jarred before the knee was down, but that's not indisputable. That's just trying to piece it together.
Yeah.
But that ball just didn't trickle out. I mean, that was popped out pretty good.
No, I agree with you. I think if we had a view from the other side, you maybe could see that ball started to move a little bit. And this is going to be our best shot, and we just don't have a clear view right there. I mean, that's the piece we need, and you see Roderick right in front of the shot. Yeah, I think that stays as knee down, Texas A&M ball.
Cole, this is a South Carolina program under Shane Beamer. They need to catch a break like this. I mean, this is, if they're going to hang around in this game, they need a stop, and to get the ball back would be huge.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. And it's a program that has kind of been built on building up that confidence and building up that love and that care around one another. And so with that comes a lot of emotion. And so I think sometimes you need breaks. You need things to go your way. Proved that last week against Vanderbilt. There's one thing Coach Beamer told us before the game, all three of us standing on the field. He said, we try to take away the positives from each game and place more emphasis on those. No matter how the game went, go find the 3-4 biggest positive things that happened. And we like to take those and use those as what we sort of take through the rest of the week. This would be one of those moments that you could utilize some momentum and obviously try to build off of it to stay in this game with Texas A&M.
Boy, that view right there, the best we would have, and even still with that angle, you just really can't see the football. So this review taking a while, but if it's taken that long, it's obviously not obvious. Obviously, it's not obvious. You need to let it stand, knee down, Texas A&M ball. Right? I mean, I feel like in replay sometimes we split hairs, we slow it down, we look at it. I mean, you know what? If you see it, you see it. If you don't spend 5 minutes on it. Let's move on. It should stand.
Well, South Carolina players think they're getting the ball back. Kingsley Enagbari, Jordan Birch, a couple other guys have been watching the big screen. They think it's theirs.
After further review, the ruling of a Texas A&M first down stands.
Shane Beamer not happy about that. And I feel him, right? Because, I mean, we look at it and go, well, it might have been moving early, but you can't prove it. You can't reverse it.
There are a lot of his dad Frank's mannerisms in Shane Beamer. Obviously, Hall of Fame coach, played for a national championship. Shane was on that team for Virginia Tech, and you just spend some time with him face to face, you can see where he gets it.
100%.
Tenth play of the drive for Texas A&M. The lone score for the Aggies. A punt return for a touchdown. Here's Spiller again. They're going Isaiah Spiller heavy. He's carried the ball in 7 of the 10 plays. This one will get replayed. We got a flag on it.
In the area of holding here.
Holding. Offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Just going to see Kenyon Green there. Boy. I don't know. I don't know about that one, Cole.
He looked like he was just tangled up with the defense lineman. There's actually a stun, too, and the penetrator came inside of him. So actually, defense lineman could have had his jersey.
A&M having success running the ball. Comes out at a throw. Caught. Bounces into the end zone. Jalen Weidermeyer with a Texas A&M touchdown.
Talked about Zach Calzada in the pocket, not leaving too soon. Watch what happens when he steps up. He stays calm with noise around him. Look at that rip. That ball had some RPMs on it. Weidemeyer did a great job of going up and getting it.
Point after is good. A 10-play, 90-yard scoring drive. A&M caught a break with the fumble. They're up 14-0.
Saturday night, is presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. And in part by new Coca-Cola Zero Sugar and Wendy's hot and crispy fries. Try the best combo ever today.
Over the summer, Jimbo Fisher guaranteed a win against Alabama, to which Nick Saban retorted, in what? Golf? A&M did it, and for I think the 4th time in modern football history, they stormed the field here at Texas A&M. First was 75 against Texas. The win meant something.
Yeah, you just don't get wide open like this by accident. Watch the route here. What I really want you to watch is at the top of this route, the nod, and then gets to the center of the field here. This is a basic seam route. Could be a dig route, could be a seam. But the nod at the top gets Jalen Foster to turn his hips to the outside, and that's what makes him so wide open. Great route by Weidemeyer.
Jalen Weidemeyer now with the program record for receiving yards by a tight end, and they've had some really good ones here, especially lately. Zeb Nolan, that one sniffed out by A&M. He had nowhere to go with it. It's no gain after Leon O'Neal Jr. got him.
And we brag about DeMarvin Leal's ability to rush the quarterback, but how about this read right here? Just reads the eyes as Zeb Nolan gets in the passing lane. That's probably the 4th, maybe 5th time South Carolina has tried to flip the ball quick to the perimeter. A&M goes, that ain't happening no more.
Zaquandre White is now the tailback. The orbit action. Nolan again has that play well covered, and he took another shot as he crawled forward. Jaden Peavy got him, and Nolan's got wobbly boots on right now. He can use the break at the end of the first quarter. The 24-year-old at his 3rd school, where he started as a graduate assistant, is trying to get this offense right. A&M up 14-0. This season, Allstate will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kubelik, our fantastic SEC Network crew. Been a while since South Carolina has scored against A&M in a series that the Aggies have dominated. Texas A&M has never lost to South Carolina. First met in 2014 to kick off this network. And they've won all 7 matchups the Aggies have.
Look at DeMarvin Leal right here. Over the center. Last time they did this, they brought pressure on the bottom of your screen here. Let's see if they drop out of it, which I think they are.
Nolan just gets a snap off in time. Going to a slant. That's the hair behind. No flag on the coverage. Trying to find Josh Vann. Tyreek Chappell was all over him.
Like you could tell, Zeb Nolan thought pressure was coming. He kept drifting away. Even though just a 3-man rush and he had a clean pocket. Trying to work Josh Vann on the outside here. A little short dig route. Look at him. He's just drifting away. I mean, he's got a clean pocket, but he saw the stacked line of scrimmage. He saw DeMarvin Leal right there. He thought it was blitz. It wasn't. And that's why it was an inaccurate throw.
Beautiful punt away from Anaya Smith, and we'll see where they mark this thing. It was an impressive boot that time from Kroger after his first one was returned for a score, and it'll be a 48-yarder. Calzada showing off his dance moves. Put that on TikTok. 4 of 7, 48 yards to start.
Showing off that arm.
Yeah.
I was down on the field pregame. He can rip it now. I had a radar gun down there.
There are some very curious people who saw you walking around with a radar gun.
Yeah. James Coley, tight end coach for them. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't worry about it, coach. We're just getting some numbers.
Devon A-Chain in the backfield. Calzada, chance to show off that gun. Perfectly placed. It's Anaya Smith. He's got a first down. Let's talk about arm strength among quarterbacks.
Yeah, comeback route to the field. You saw this is just warm-ups. He's not even really ripping it, and he was getting up in towards the mid-50s. I had him at 54. A lot of NFL guys in that range, as you see. These are all clocked at the combine, something they track every single year. Look at Josh Allen. Wow. But again, he's right in that Dak Prescott range, and I'm sure if he tried, he could ramp it up even a few more MPH there.
A-Chain picks up 7.
But again, that's a great stat. It's fun to look at. But the biggest part of playing quarterback is you got to be able to, at times, take some off the throws and still be accurate. And that's really been the issue with Calzada. When he's on balance and he rips it, he's great. When he's got to take some off it and he's a little off balance, that's when the accuracy issues have shown up.
Jimbo told us, he said, in terms of arm talent, one of the top 3 I've ever coached. And this guy's coached Heisman winners. He's been around some great quarterbacks in his time. Third and a long 2 now. Calzada, 4-star recruit, 4.0 GPA, Under Armour All-American, coming out of Lanier High School in North Georgia. Off his back foot, fires high. Carolina brought the pressure. We got a flag. It's going to go against South Carolina. It'll be a first down for Texas A&M.
Yeah, I think they got some hands around the waist or a little tug of the jersey.
Pass interference. Defense number 9. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
See right here, slant routes on the outside. Anais Smith right there. Ball a little high, but anytime you wrap your hands around that waist, easy for the official in the back to see it.
Andy Britton is the official, the field judge. Happy birthday to Mrs. Britton. His mom turns 84 tomorrow out in Athens, Georgia. Run to the left side, and A-Chain is able to pick up 7. Kingsley Enagbare goes by JJ. He is a real talent, senior from Atlanta. Top 10 in school history and career sacks. What makes him so good?
Oh, his ability to mix up the pass rush, right? I mean, he can beat you with speed around the outside. We were talking to him about all the moves and how he sets them up, how he watches film. I mean, he must have listed off 10 different moves. I might even know defensive ends have that much.
Loves to be in a 2-point stance. They boot away from him. Lob towards the end zone. Incomplete. Demas had it knocked away by Marcellus Dial.
Wow. This was a heck of a ball by Zach Calzada. Rolling to his right, back to his left, and watch the accuracy. I mean, that is right on the money.
Hit him in the number.
That's one Demas has got to come down with. Probably kicking himself right now. Tight coverage by Dial, but one Demas should have come down with.
So 3rd and 4. Enagbare on the short side.
On here at the bottom of your screen, working on Jameer Johnson.
They run away from him, pick up a first down with A-Chain. Cole, what do you like about Enagbare's game?
Well, he's beefed up a little bit. Told us he put on 10, 12 pounds, but it's the flexibility and the length. Got that big wingspan, so he has the ability to get his arms on a tackle. And a couple times when you see him turn speed to power, which means he'll make you think that he's going to go upfield and trying to rush around you, and then all of a sudden turn into that offensive tackle and bull rush him. He can get those hands inside because how long they are and do some damage.
His first name, Kingsley, is Nigerian. It's a family name, but he quickly picked up a nickname that has stuck with him. Here's A-Chain again. That's JJ. And he got it from the kids show JJ the Jet Plane. We played Name That Tune with him on our Zoom call this week. And once it got about 4 beats in, he started dancing on it. That's my show. That's my jam.
I had just hopped on the call and I'm like, what is going on? What are we listening to?
Yeah, I mean, folks from Tarrytown Airport. I mean, everybody knows JJ the Jet Plane.
I think this is the really interesting matchup here. Enagbare and Fatherly.
to bring help to him. A-Chain trying to go that way, and will bend it back to the near side. Devon A-Chain takes it down to the 12, a pickup of 13. Flag on the play.
Boy, that's 3 or 4 times now they're running opposite of J.J. Enagbari.
Offense number 58, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
Left tackle Jameer Johnson flag. Other side of the ball.
And Fathery working on Enagbari. Jameer Johnson's going to get the hold there on the left side of your screen at the end.
First team all conference last year. Mel Kiper's got him as a number 5 outside linebacker prospect in next summer's draft. He said if it wasn't for football, he'd weigh about 140 pounds. He told us he had to put on weight because sometimes he just forgets to eat. Here's Weidermeyer. Already has a score. Now he's got a convoy, and he will push it into the end zone. Touchdown, Texas A&M. Jalen Weidermeyer with a catch and run from 28. Seth Small for the point after. Jalen Weidermeyer, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns.
And just a great call by Jimbo Fisher. You get the run game going. These defensive ends get frustrated. They want to rush the passer. Look at everybody coming here. And watch the center leak out to nobody. Anytime your center, Bryce Foster, gets in the end zone before a skill player, you know it's going to be a good play. 61's out there running. He's got nobody to block. And Jalen Weidermeyer punches it in.
Welcome to Allstate.
Bryan College Station, Texas, home of the 12th man and home of a 21-0 lead for Texas A&M. Let's get you to the studio for an update. Here's Dari.
All right, Tom, how about Alabama? They trailed Tennessee 14-7, tied it at 14, and then Bryce Young to John Mechie. Young has thrown 1. He's run for 1. He's over 200 yards passing, and the tied up a touchdown late second quarter, guys.
Hi, Di. Thanks. Good to see Hendon Hooker back out there for Tennessee after he went down last week. 171 and 2 touchdowns for the Tennessee quarterback. SEC Saturday night, presented by T-Mobile. Ground game, Nets 1. That's Kevin Harris, who led the SEC in rushing last year. This is a very deep running back room for South Carolina, and Harris coming off of offseason back surgery. Then he had an ankle that they just haven't been able to get him going, and I feel like part of it is because McDowell, White, and Lloyd are also so talented. If you're Harris, you got to take advantage of every touch you get.
Absolutely, and they've been inconsistent up front early this season at the offensive line, so there hasn't always been the best push, but I think a lot of people expected Kevin Harris to have a monster season once again. It just hasn't gone that way.
He really just started practicing, and again the ground game gets nothing. 10th in school history with 21 rushing touchdowns. He had some monster games last year for South Carolina, including a shootout that we had in Oxford against Ole Miss, where he had a school record 5 touchdowns in that game. Averaged 9.7 yards a carry against that Ole Miss defense.
Here on 3rd down, we've seen quick throws to the perimeter. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to max protect a little bit more with a tight end protection and try to attack the middle of the field like they did hit Josh Vann earlier.
Oh, snap went right by Nolan, and Texas A&M got it. Aaron Hansford beat Nolan to it. You could see the quarterback took his eyes off the snap when Harris's motion got confusing. It's like he was distracted and trying to direct Harris.
Yeah, you can see Zeb trying to switch sides, and he might have said something, right? Yelling at Harris to get to the other side. Maybe the center mistook that for the cadence, but definitely not expecting a snap there.
So much of that too depends on what your indicator is, Jordan. Is it verbal? Is it the foot? You're waiting to hear something from one of your other offensive linemen. It didn't look like a guard was trying to signal anything down. Zeb Nolan obviously still confused about exactly how that happened.
Well, it seems from our vantage point that that's the second time tonight a South Carolina motion man has been in the wrong spot. Yeah. Isaiah Spiller, tailback now for A&M, looking to add to this lead. Spiller muscles his way to the 2.
And just back to those motions, you make a great point. Remember talking to Shane Beamer on the field earlier before the game. He said, look, we got to try to move a lot pre-snap, right?
Yeah.
Get in different formations, a lot of motions pre-snaps, especially with Zeb out there to be able to dictate and control that. But it just hasn't gone their way, and it's hurt them more so in this game early than it's helped.
Trying to do it on the road in front of 100,000, a hostile environment.
Not easy.
No. Calzada looking, fires. Trying to find Weidermeyer, got held up at the line of scrimmage.
They just tried a little pop pass here. South Carolina read it, and Zach said, I'm going to put this one in about the 10th row. Trying to hit Weidermeyer. He's like, nah, not there. It's the right decision. Only one read on that. There's nowhere else to go with the football. You're faking the run, trying to leak Weidermeyer on a little pop route.
Third and goal.
Got to run it here, right?
Yep. Got Spiller next to him. And he will go straight ahead and straight into the end zone. Everything coming up maroon tonight. Got a punt return for a score, a 10-play drive for a score, a nice play by Weidermeyer for his second, and then the bad snap allows Isaiah Spiller to splash in from 1 yard out. Seth Small still perfect on point outs.
Boy, this type of blocking just makes Cole's heart warm. He's got to love this. Pancakes, syrup, everything. Look at the push this interior line gets. A lot of butter up there. I mean, Fatherly is all the way in the end zone. And A&M, 28, getting out of hand.
When I listen to my Sonos, I
see Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile, is brought to you by Beef. It's what's for dinner. And new Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. And Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries. Try the best combo ever today.
Like father, like son, Frank Beamer, College Football Hall of Famer, 1999 AP Coach of the Year, 29 years a head coach at Virginia Tech. Frank Beamer 1-1 against Jimbo, beat him in the ACC championship game in 2010, lost to him in the regular season in 2012 when both were in the ACC. One of the few games that his dad has missed. He said he didn't make it to the Tennessee game because he went to Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, and Blacksburg. Shane was joking with us pregame. He said, I mean, come on, you've been to plenty of games there.
Yeah. He's like, I was playing Tennessee. Yeah, I'm playing in Knoxville.
Long snapper on a team that lost to Peter Warwick and Florida State in the national championship game in '99. Had a pretty good quarterback by the name of Mike Vick.
He was all right.
He was all right.
He could slang it, run around a little bit.
I went to a Virginia Tech practice in '99. That went incomplete. And, you know, if folks don't understand, when an offense is on the field, an offensive coordinator, maybe the quarterback's coach, it's not uncommon for them to stand 10, 15 yards behind the quarterback operating out of the shotgun. Well, they're just going good on good. Mike Vick, on this just one play I was at, started to his left, wheeled around. He ran all the way back behind the quarterback coach, the backup quarterback, everybody else ran down the right and up the right sideline for a gain of 30. They said, okay, this is just not fair. South Carolina average gain on first down so far tonight, 0. Their best play on first down got them 4 yards. If you can't have success on first down, and a place like this is going to be a tough sledding.
Yeah, and they've struggled to run the football, right? -4 rushing yards tonight. Zeb Nolan is both the leading rusher and only has 21 yards through the air, so nothing working right now for South Carolina. They got to start getting tight end Jaheim Bell involved He's a playmaker. He's the most dynamic athlete they have. Here on third down, he's going to be at the top of your screen attached. I'd be looking in his direction if I'm throwing the football.
Clean release for Bell. Nolan never got a chance. Tyree Johnson took him down.
Yeah, they were looking for Bell on a crossing route. You're going to see it coming right at the bottom of your screen. Had a step, but just no time for Zeb Nolan. No pocket to step up in. Michael Clemens, Tyree Johnson, pretty much everybody closing in on Zeb Nolan on that one.
Time's running out on Nolan almost every snap. That was a great punt from Kroger. Somehow stayed inside the paint. And he'll go for a 73-yarder. Highlight of the night so far for South Carolina. Let's take a look at Fansville, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. What a scene here in Aggieland. Oh, look, our camera guys got off campus. That's not bad. Saw in Varsity's horns pregame. Calzada at quarterback. This is Devon A-Chain up the middle. Let's take a look at the last touchdown for A&M.
Layden Robinson, 64 at right guard. You, sir, are dismissed. You know, he made his first impression against South Carolina last year. Came in because of an injury. I put the tape on Sunday, and I'm watching 64 just roll people up. I texted Jimbo. I said, you got a war daddy on your hands. He's like, yeah, we're just too good to get him in the lineup, but we're happy about what he's going to turn into. He's been great since.
Sophomore from Manville, Texas. 2nd and 3. A-Chain.
Cole, just for everybody sitting at home, can you explain War Daddy?
Father of violence.
That's great. Jimbo talks like that. Yeah. I mean, like, there are dudes that he uses references about football players that it just kind of makes sense coming out of his mouth. Even though you may not be exactly sure what it means,
you're just like,
you get the picture.
I get the gist.
When Jimbo Fisher says that guy's a football player, that is a real compliment.
Well, he's going to have comps for you.
Yeah.
Some people going into the draft like, oh, I don't like the comps. Don't compare my players to other guys. Jimbo's going to give you 4 or 5 comps of every guy he's got that he's had during the course of his career.
One of 5 active head coaches with a national championship to his name. He has met his match, though, in speed talking. Who's the faster speaker, Jimbo or Leon O'Neal?
Well, it's tight. It's close. I'm probably going to still stick with Jimbo, but Leon to give him a run for his money.
It's like they bought their syllables at Costco. Gain of 1 that time. That will leave 3rd and 2.
You know, Tom, when the micro machines are ready to reboot, either one of them could be in the commercials if they want them.
O'Neal might have a future reading the fine print. Great safety for A&M, might have a future in broadcasting once his playing career finally ends. A&M 3 of 4 on 3rd down tonight. Make it 4 or 5. That's one stat tells the story. A&M 4 or 5. South Carolina 0 for 6.
Just the push. Guard, center, guard. Bryce Foster, Layden Robinson, Kenyon Green up there. We just look at the hole. Right? I mean, A-Chain, Spiller, they're getting 5-6 yards before they even see a South Carolina defender.
Here's A-Chain again. A-Chain running right through his T-shirt. He never hit the ground. He's still on his feet. And A-Chain takes it all the way down inside the 20. 46 yards if they don't rule him down. He was on a defender's back, spun away after he broke through the grasp.
You know, a lot of time these track guys that run ridiculous 100-meter, 200-meter speeds aren't really football players. A-Chain is a football player.
Knee down.
Yeah, I think his knee does go down there, but he is physical. He can cut. He's not just a straight line speed guy. And his role in this offense is just continuing to grow week by week.
And he's not just a sprinter. You see that they'll take another look at this upstairs. To your point, yes, he's a football player, but he's also an elite sprinter.
The ball carrier was not down. The previous play is under further review.
Darius Rush being helped on. I mean, he's an All-American sprinter here at Texas A&M.
And that's what I mean. Usually those guys are straight line guys, right? They struggle with routes. They struggle with agility, side to side, lateral movement. That's not the case at all. He's an elite sprinter. Elite. But he's also a really good football player.
Runs a 10.2 a 20.3 200.
And this should be a quick one. You're going to see A-Chain's knee come down right there. It's good effort, though.
Yeah.
I always had that happen. I'd try to get up every single time, even when I knew my knee was down.
Home crowd looking up to the Jumbotron. The only thing we haven't seen tonight here at Texas A&M has been the bird.
They had it 2 weeks in a row, right? We were here for Mississippi State. Bird came back for Alabama briefly.
It's big time to come out for the Alabama game.
After further review, the ball carrier's knee was down at the Texas A&M 47-yard line. The play still results in a first down.
A-Chain played his high school ball Fort Bend Marshall. He's a Missouri City product. And look at his high school numbers. 50 touchdowns his senior season.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Averaged a first down every time he touched the ball.
How'd you like try to tackle him?
No, thank you.
I bet he just ran circles around everyone. You were talking about Mike Vick. I bet that's what he looked like. Still does.
Still does. High school Gatorade track and field athlete of the year nationally coming out of Fort Bend Marshall. Pressure coming from the safety. Here's a little toss to A-Chain. And he got swallowed up at midfield. Still found three. Damani Staley. His dad Deuce played in the NFL for a long time with the Eagles.
Really good play there by Staley. Probably ran about 20, 25 yards out of his starting position to chase that one down.
It's a South Carolina team coming off of a momentous win against Vanderbilt in terms of what they needed from a confidence standpoint. Here's Weidermeyer for the first time, a catch that doesn't find the end zone. It was their 13th straight win against Vanderbilt, and they needed a comeback to get it. And you got the feeling that, yes, this was going to be a tough game for South Carolina, but they were starting to trend in the right direction as Shane Beamer builds the family atmosphere, builds the trust and a confidence in this program.
Yeah, and I've been a part of a turnaround at Vanderbilt where we had zero confidence. We were a really bad football team, and a year later we got a little bit better. We were in some close games, so that win is going to propel this team. I know it doesn't look pretty right now, but it's so crucial in building the confidence and the understanding of how to win those games. And Shane Beamer is definitely putting the right pieces in place to build this program the right way.
Started the season 2-0, wins against Eastern Illinois and a comeback against East Carolina. In the Kentucky game till the very end. Long-time assistant coach, most recently Oklahoma, before getting the head job after Will Muschamp was let go. Pressure coming, five-man rush. Calzada goes down the sideline. Great move to come back for it by Demas. Gain of 28.
Well, last time in tight coverage, this same matchup, Demas on Marcellus Dial on the outside, and this is a heck of a ball by Zach Calzada. At this moment, you got to decide, am I going to throw it up over the top, or am I going to throw back shoulder? Dial was about even with Demas, so a great decision by Calzada to put that one on the back shoulder where only his guy could get it.
Spiller tries to change direction, gets bottled up after a pickup of one.
That decision especially tells me a lot about Calzada. As I broke down the film the last couple weeks, one thing was kind of a common thread. The deep balls, he was leaving little short and inside. When he put a lot of air on it, he wasn't getting the ball over the top. He wasn't getting it on the outside shoulder. So when you're struggling with doing that, use your arm strength. Throw those line drives. Allow your receiver to slow down and make a catch in tight coverage. And he did just that.
Nothing for Spiller that time. In fact, it'll be a loss of 1.
Yeah, it's part of the game that Texas A&M has struggled with, explosive pass plays. It just hasn't been there, one of the worst in the SEC. And you see that trend starting to go in the right direction. And even Demas dropped the one that would have been an explosive play on this same end.
They've had 3 tonight, 2 of them for touchdowns. That last play lost a yard. First negative play of the night for A&M. Movement on the left side of the A&M line. J.J. Enagbare was coming in hot like a touch and go at Terrytown.
False start. Offense number 58. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down. Texas A&M will take their first time out of the half
I was so
to avoid
intrigued
10-second runoff.
by JJ's exuberance for his favorite show as a child. I ended up watching 7 different JJ the Jet Plane episodes this
You went
week.
down a hole,
Yeah,
huh?
I did. Good times.
There's some. Nick joins us. We'll catch you up on what's going on right in Tuscaloosa with Tennessee and Alabama and how Ole Miss rolled. Welcome to the party, Chiz. It's good to see you.
You guys.
No, you didn't.
A&M defense, though. Yeah. I missed
salty.
11 yards of total offense. I would say it's pretty salty defense.
It's very, very salty. Not like most of our Halloween candy will be, guys.
Well, just don't ask Mike Leach about candy corn. 3rd and 14 now for Texas A&M. Spiller finds a hole and picks up 5. Give us a chance to see the hero of the Alabama game as the clock rolls down. Seth Small. And there's a fantastic video shot the night of the Alabama game that just shows how much stress loved ones go through when their husband, their son, their brother is on the field in such a momentous occasion.
Seth Small. Is down. It is up. And the fighting Texas Aggies take down the top-ranked Tide 41-38.
His wife Rachel would not be denied. She got on the field with about 10,000 of her closest friends. Parents Ricardo and Jenny Ann looking on as well. This is the 32-yard attempt for Seth Small.
A little less pressure.
A little bit. That one sneaks in the upright. We were watching that kick. The car driving through Lexington, Kentucky was starting left and it bent back in for the win.
Gotta play that slice, baby.
Coming up at halftime, you can watch a live performance of the Fighting Texas Aggie Band on SEC Network Plus. If you haven't seen it, it is precision magnified. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. All Aggies tonight here in the first half. On 3rd downs, A&M 4 of 6. South Carolina 0 for 6. 31-0 is the score, and South Carolina has been held to 11 total yards. Cole is with Jimbo.
Coach Pfister, your tight end Jalen Weidemeyer, big first half. Why were you able to have so much success with him?
Well, I mean, his versatility in the blocking game, and he can screen, he can get vertical, and his big body on the matchups on smaller safeties is something we like to get. And then we got him in the screen game too.
Kind of feels like your team, not just your defense goes as your defensive line goes. When they play like they played in that first half, what does it change for you?
Well, I mean, you're winning the down and distance, so you're in 2nd long, 3rd and long, so your secondary can release. Your calls you make, you can be more aggressive, and then you're controlling field position because you're getting the punts, and then with 0 on the punt returns.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Aggies dominating in the first half, looking to go 8-0 all time against South Carolina. 31-0. Oh, by the way, the Braves are up 1-0 too, Dari.
No, you didn't do that.
12th man, Kyle Field's been all Aggies tonight. It's a 31-0 lead for Texas A&M over South Carolina, looking for their 8th straight win over South Carolina. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers in the booth. Cole down on the field. Cole, you just talked with Carolina head coach Shane Beamer. What did he say about their situation?
Well, I said, Coach Beamer, I said, how can you adjust or improve your protection in the second half? And he said, you got any suggestions? So he just said, listen, we've tried everything. We've slid the protection. We've got the ball out of the perimeter. We're trying to get it out quick. He said they're rushing 4, and we're having trouble protecting our quarterback. We're just not going to be able to move the football that way. So we have to get creative and find some ways to run the football first. Hopefully that'll help protection, get some things moving. And he said, listen, defense hasn't been terrible as far as what the scoreboard looks like. We just got to get them off the field. He said, my defense has been on the field too long. We can't have that in the second half.
Jordan, I was going to ask you a question, but Cole took all your time.
What else is new? Here's the second half, folks.
Strong kickoff. The numbers tell the story. As we look at the first half stats brought to you by Zaxby's. As you peruse these numbers, the question for you is, in a conference game down 31-0 at the half, how do you as a team come out for the second half? What's the mindset?
Yeah, I've been in those locker rooms, and the conversation from the head coach is not about the score. It's about pride. You have a chance in this second half to prove your manhood, prove your pride, whatever you want to call it. Put something on tape that you can be proud of when you watch it tomorrow. That is the goal, and obviously fix some of the things. Try to get some kind of consistency, some kind of positivity, obviously, in this second half. But it is about pride more than it is about the scoreboard at this point for South Carolina.
Zach Calzada is able to find Isaiah Spiller out of the backfield. And Spiller on the first play for A&M picks up 11 yards.
Did you really have to, troll me a little bit by asking me the perspective on being down 31-0?
You are in this position because of your unique perspective. And I thought, maybe,
yes, I do.
Maybe you have that experience.
Been in a few of those locker rooms. Yes, I have. So that's how the conversation goes.
This is a South Carolina program that went through a coaching change in the offseason, and I think there's a difference between keeping everything up and positive, even from a coach's standpoint. Because let's be honest, Will Muschamp was fired a couple times, right?
Yeah.
That staff kind of lived on the edge all season, and if they weren't getting production, I think it was hard for them to stay upbeat around this team.
I don't get that feeling around Shane Beamer. Right? I mean, this program, the coaching style is built on love and appreciation for your players, and I think that's why I said it becomes less about the scoreboard and winning, losing at that point, and more about improving in pride so these players feel better about themselves.
What a play by J.J. Enogbari, coming flying in at the tail end like he came off the top rope. 2 plays, 2 first downs, A&M.
Yeah, Weidemeyer's having a really good game, and really the last 2 games, 6 receptions, 102 yards, a touchdown. They're definitely finding more ways to get him involved, splitting him out wide at times. He's blocking a ton better, as me and Cole talked this week, because Cole loves watching that pit view. I like the all-22. He's talking about how 85 is blocking a lot more.
Well, you're an inside dog, and he's an outside dog. That one incomplete. Cole, what were your thoughts about Weidemeier previously when it came to his blocking ability or effort?
Yeah, willingness is what I would say. And prior to the Alabama game this year, Tom, it was just poor. And the effort wasn't there. The willingness wasn't really there. Just kind of halving it. And at the Alabama game, I thought it really began to change. And I feel like it's changed since. He's always been a willing blocker. He's always been a guy who will get his face mask in the chest of a defender, run his feet, at least give you that effort. Just for some reason earlier this season, it wasn't there.
Calzada pulls it back over the middle, wide open with room to run. Jalen Preston, who got checked down by Rush, 33 yards. Good hustle by Rush. Looked like a certain score for a moment.
Yeah, Plattel over here on the left side of your screen is going to get his eyes in the backfield, right? This is an RPO. He's looking at run. And Jalen Preston runs right by him. Great identification on the RPO there by Calzada.
To Spiller again, pick up a 4.
And that's kind of what you got to do. And South Carolina is going to take some risks. They're playing man on the outside. They're trying to stack the box. Texas A&M has had their way on the ground early in this game. Surprising, right? Because we were very high on this South Carolina defensive line, their ability up front. I think it's the strength of their defense, but they've been pushed around. So they're adding a safety, adding an extra man to the box, and they're playing more man coverage on the outside, which means matchups are there if Calzada wants them.
Calzada looking for Smith. He's covered. Will fire end zone. And it was nearly picked off. Cam Smith, the defender.
Really good coverage by Cam Smith. Initially, though, they want to get the ball to Anais Smith here, coming underneath the line of scrimmage. Great job on that one by Platel, who just got burned on the last play of picking up Anais Smith. And good coverage, like you said, on the outside by Cam Smith, breaking on that one and almost coming up with a turnover.
Cam Smith out of Blythewood, South Carolina, played at Westwood High School. Time for the SEC league, and passes broken up. Calzada pulls it back. Nobody's open, going the wrong way, and able to find a receiver in the vicinity in Preston.
Nothing there. Really good coverage on the outside by South Carolina. Smart decision in field goal range by Calzada of not taking a sack there. He thought about it. He's not Mike Vick, though, reversing field like the story you were talking about earlier. So as soon as you start to reverse, if you're Calzada, throw that ball away, and he did it.
He ran right behind Frank Beamer, the entire staff. 32-yarder made earlier for Small, and he bangs that one through as well. A&M opens the second half just as they ended the first.
Verizon got you paying more for their limited 5.
College football top 10. Georgia's got the week off. Cincinnati had its hands full with the Naval Academy today. Oklahoma nearly lost on the road in Lawrence, where the game was so exciting they opened up the gate, said everybody come on in, no ticket needed, after Kansas hung with them.
And then Oklahoma scored 21 unanswered. And
I feel like you needed to be there early if you wanted to enjoy it. Let's take a look at the 5-star play of the game. Brought to you by Yellowwood.
Oh, it's been all about the pressure up front from Texas A&M's defensive front. So talented. Michael Clemens, Tyree Johnson, DeMarvin Leal. They have been all over Zeb Nolan all night. South Carolina can't get anything going on the ground or through the air. And this front is as advertised.
South Carolina hadn't had the ball since 7:05 in the second quarter. It's about 45 minutes in between touches for Zeb Nolan. Swing pass. They've gone to this often. This is a Conway right, and White gets shoved out of bounds after pickup of 5. That's the best first down play South Carolina has run tonight, the most productive. Zeb Nolan hasn't seen a 2nd and 5 all night, or a 2nd and 6, I should say.
That's really the first quick perimeter throw I think I've seen work. A&M sniffed it out every other time South Carolina's tried to run it.
Zeb Nolan running backwards and will spike it towards his running back. They'll double check. Michael Clemens brought the pressure. That was at the feet of McDowell-ish.
Well, we talked to offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield for South Carolina, and he was very blunt. He said, we suck at screens. We're not very good at screens.
Why would a team be bad at screens? What is the element that makes it difficult?
Yeah, well, you got to be able to run the football effectively first, and South Carolina has struggled at that. And then there's an art to it as an offensive lineman, and they just have not been good at it. And now, 3rd medium, 3rd long. Watch this front 4 go to work. Looks like they're going to rush 3 here.
Movement on the right side. You saw Zeb Nolan giving a signal to his wide receivers. It almost looked like he was playing the guitar. He said he doesn't listen to music pregame to relax. He's relaxed enough.
5-yard penalty.
But his favorite musician is a guy by the name of Cole Wetzel, who plays hillbilly punk rock. Cole Wetzel is a former college football player. He was a linebacker at Tarleton State, dropped out to go on a music career, and probably playing on the way home tonight.
Did not know that. I'd ask him who it was.
It's as loud as hillbilly punk rock in here tonight.
Look at all these defenders stacked at the line of scrimmage. They got to sort out who's coming and who's dropping.
They bring 5. They got him! A sack for Tyree Johnson and a loss of 5. Zeb Nolan's got a dirty jersey tonight. A&M plants him again.
That is a 5-yard loss, bringing up 4th down and 16 for the Gamecocks.
Now the offensive line going one way, leaving Turnitine on an island over here, working on Tyree Johnson. And watch the speed. Just got a great jump on the football, and Turnitine never had a chance.
Bailed out of his set after the first set.
3rd consecutive possession for South Carolina that went backwards. They're playing tonight for the Bonham Trophy, and by all accounts, A&M is going to keep that trophy here in College Station.
SEC Saturday Night, presented by T-Mobile, is brought to you by the Peloton Tread. Run faster and get stronger like never before. And new Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. And Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries. Try the best combo ever today.
This is from the GI Museum out on Highway 6. Aggie War Hymn was written by Pinky Wilson, an A&M alum while stationed during World War I. Bear Bryant in 1954 asked that the Aggie War Hymn be played at the start of the 4th quarter of each home game because the 4th quarter was going to belong to A&M. We have our ISO producer Kevin Clark to thank for those pictures that he got at the GI Museum. Another thing that Kevin pointed out is they've got a Renault FT-17 French tank at that museum, and it's still operational. The only one in North America that's operational. I don't know if we know anybody who works at the GI Museum.
Think we could take it for a spin?
Kevin was very disappointed he wasn't allowed to drive the tank. Do you think we could make that happen?
Yeah. I think we can figure it out. You ever seen the movie Fury?
No,
Brad
but,
Pitt?
I've seen Stripes.
So you're saying I made a bad decision on my nation hit this morning?
Yes, you should have been in a tank and bowl.
You either go in a tank or Santa's Wonderland next time, all right?
Sign me up for the tank.
Here's Spiller. Spiller spent some time in the injury tent this half, did he?
Looked like they were taking a look at his back, or he was kind of talking about his back when he came out of the injury tent. It was just for a brief moment, but he did receive some medical attention before this series.
3rd down 3. A&M has converted 4 of 7 third downs in this one.
Watch Anaya Smith on a little crosser here.
Out to Spiller. First man misses. Second man misses. 4th man finally stands them up. It's a 1st down catch and run for Isaiah Spiller.
Great little changeup. They get in these condensed sets, and they really like to run the mesh concept to try to find some space for Anaya Smith. This time they run everybody deep, get their running back one-on-one on the outside. And a well-delivered throw from Calzada. As I mentioned, he's struggled on these wide routes to the running back under pressure. Accurate throw. Spiller does the rest.
So a fresh set of downs for A&M. I mentioned that the Bonham Trophy is on the line tonight. It's not one of those trophies that you see exchanged at midfield. It's more a piece of art that depicts James Bonham, who's a South Carolina native who fought in the Battle of the Alamo. In fact, he was a messenger. He came upon the Alamo when it was already surrounded and under siege, and he still went back in to fight with the Texans. I was doing a little bit of research on Bonham. You'll love this. This is very cool. He went to South Carolina College, as it was named in 1824. His senior year, he led a student protest over harsh attendance regulations and the poor food served in the dining hall. He was expelled along with the entire senior class.
That's awesome.
Mr. Bonham, you got to go.
He's like, man, we just want to play hooky and we want to eat better. Come on, what do you mean? What's this school thing?
My man.
Straight ahead, Spiller. 22 yards for Isaiah Spiller.
And really impressed with the Texas A&M offensive line. Look at the hat on a hat, the push. Jalen Weidemeyer mixing it up, and Isaiah Spiller has been sensational, building on a game last week where him and A-Chain both went well over 100 yards. They're picking up right where they left off.
100-yard game for Isaiah Spiller. That touch to the backfield still bounces for a couple.
Cole, what are you seeing from this offensive line down there?
Well, they've gone more gap scheme runs than I thought they were going to. You know, Jimbo told us he thought they were going to have to zone it out. They expected movement. But the double teams have been the best part of what I've seen tonight. And keep in mind, when we talked to Daryl Dickey and Jimbo, they both talked about, because of how good this defensive line was, take your time on the double teams, come off late on the linebackers, because you have to secure the first level initially if you're even going to have a chance to get your backs to the second level. They've handled those doubles well tonight.
Hitting like Eddie Rosario just hit a 3-run home run for the Braves, up 4-1 on the Dodgers. Calzada's got all day.
Boy, and Calzada missed Damon Demas, who was wide open on a corner route. Watch this corner route. The ball should be thrown now. Release that ball to the corner. 28 there, the corner at the bottom of the screen. He's not turning and running. He's not going to beat Demas to the corner there. That angle's not great. All 22, you can see that Demas would have had a step, and he's yelling for it. That's one I think Calzada got off a little early. Now, in his defense, your read is the corner there. It's a high-low. You have a deep corner, and you have a shallow flat route, so you're reading the depth of that field corner. But on that one, trust your arm strength. He's got the arm strength to make that throw.
Happy feet here. Calzada back to the logo. Flag down. And a diving attempt by Lane, but it's incomplete. Skipped into him.
Jordan, when you see him move early in the pocket like that, and you know that Jimbo Fisher told us that one of the issues he's had is getting his eyes down too much, not keeping them down the field. How does a quarterback overcome that?
Well, it's not easy, right? I mentioned earlier, it's mainly between the ears.
Holding, offense number 58. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Isn't that where all eyes are?
Well, no, I just mean the issues for that, right? I mean, you might say, hey, you know, his feet get a little fast, happy feet, he's running too early. How do I fix the legs? How do I physically get him to change that? It's more about slowing his mind down. When the quarterback looks in the wrong direction to start, or he misses a coverage, or he's wrong about a coverage, everything starts to speed up, and you're laughing, looking at me. What am I missing?
Oh, nothing.
Jimbo told us he would have him lock in on an individual number and come back to the huddle and tell him what that number was.
47-yard attempt for Small. He is 2 for 2 tonight. That one got a piece of it, I think, on the line. Must have for it to come out like that. You said it was between the ears, and I said most eyes are between the ears.
Yours are not quite balanced correctly between the ears, though.
MJ Webb got his big mitts on this one. Cross-eyed in the second half. We are finished here. We'll kick into the studio for Dory, Chiz, and Benjamin Watson for SEC Football Final right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Thanks to Wheels Up, helping make travel easier. Jordan was at SEC Nation in Oxford this morning, here in Bryan College Station tonight. There he is coming in.
That actually is me. Our producer Billy texted me. He's like, oh, you landed right as I landed.
You could have at least waved.
I was trying. I didn't know I was getting filmed.
Good thing Herbie didn't try to sneak in with you again this time. A couple of interesting scores out there in the SEC. Will Rogers, 42 of 58 for 386 yards. 13 different state receivers caught a pass.
It's a decent night.
Not bad. They won 45-6 over Vanderbilt, and afterwards Mike Leach wanted to talk Halloween candy.
Standard. Why would you want to talk football after a win like that, or being a head football coach in the SEC? Let's obviously get to candy corn.
They retired Eli's number in Oxford today. That was really cool to see him and Archie and the family back. Vaught Hemingway. 3rd and 7 now for Zeb Nolan. And Nolan gets swallowed up by Maroon again. McKinley Jackson that time.
Once you have the consistency of the edge rush on the outside, you know the quarterback's going to be stepping up in the pocket. Look at the spin move there by Jackson to bring that one down. That's great. Great job there, realizing the quarterback stepping up in the pocket, the big man with the spin move.
Anaya Smith over the shoulder, but out of bounds. 48-yard punt. Here are the standings.
Tell you what, the West is going to get real interesting. All right, I mean, look at all that log jam here. All these teams, maybe without Mississippi State there. Okay, let's go. All these teams right here. Some weird stuff could happen.
It always does. It's been a chaotic year in college football. Thought Kansas was going to pull off the center against Oklahoma today. Illinois and Penn State played the longest game by period in college football history. New overtime rules turned it into a 2-point shootout. Here's Achane. Nearly to midfield. It's a run of 21 on first down.
Oh, it's a great block here by the center, Bryce Foster. You're going to see him really wall off on this double team. Look at the push they get. That really opens up that hole there for Achane. And we talked about his speed. As soon as you have that hole, he hits it so fast.
That patience waiting to come off on the second level.
Both Achane and Spiller have 100-yard rushing nights.
Again. Did that last week, too.
Not bad.
A dangerous duo. I mean, you got one guy in Isaiah Spiller that is a battering ram, right? But also athletic enough to make you miss. Physical runner. You got Achane that can get physical, but man, you give him daylight. He's one of the fastest players in the entire country. I like it when they get both of them on the field at the same time. That's tough for defenses.
It's hard to talk concerns from an A&M perspective, but one of the things they discovered doing self-scouting is they could get a little bit predictable when one or the other was on the field. For example, interception against Missouri last week. Achane was lined up in the slot. Missouri had a pretty good idea what was coming, that they were going to throw the ball and able to jump the route. How often do coaching staffs honestly self-scout to identify the flaws in a way where they're fixable?
Not enough, probably. I mean, that's why you have big staffs. That's why you have GAs that are doing this consistently. But when you hit that mid-year mark, you start to get a few games into SEC play. That's when, as a staff, you really do dedicate a day or two, a Sunday afternoon maybe, to self-scouting, making sure that, look, here's what we've started to really do a lot in SEC play, right?
Now you have trends.
You have trends, right? So how do we change that? How do we add something, a new wrinkle out of this set, out of this personnel grouping? And I think, obviously, we're not going to see a ton of it right now. A&M's going to be holding everything in a game that's 34-0, but they did show some tendencies, and guarantee next close game they have, they're going to be some wrinkles using Achane in the slot, like you mentioned.
On 2nd and 6, another huge hold. Devon Achane, full head of steam, and he scores from 35 yards out. I don't know if anybody touched it.
Really important block on that play by Max Wright, the tight end. He's going to work up, and then he's going to seal this defender along with Bryce Foster right here. Man, just get a piece of that linebacker that's trying to work over the top to get to Achane. And that's how he walked in untouched.
Yeah, Jordan, you mentioned wrinkles. It's one thing that Texas A&M has started to do on that outside zone play. Last 2 weeks, they pin and pull the guard and center. So instead of trying to get complete flow with the entire offensive line, they'll let the guard just block down and the center pulls around. Bryce Foster's done a pretty nice job with it. A couple times I've seen him run it, and an excellent job there, just getting downfield, getting in front of a couple defenders, allowing for the Texas A&M touchdown.
Adding a little gap scheme into a zone concept, right?
And going that sort of Chip Kelly philosophy of just giving extra window dressing to the defense.
41-0 here. Let's get to the studio where I'm hoping for some Furman highlights. Lost at home to ETSU today.
Yeah, well, Chisel will have to give the Furman highlights a little bit later as he was hanging out with his son and family at homecoming. But we got Alabama highlights. Bryce Young's second rushing touchdown of the night. This ball gets knocked out as he's crossing the goal line. They review, call it a touchdown. They're up 2 scores, guys, early 4.
Not a great afternoon for the Paladins. A nice Chiz spent some time with the family. About a 1,000-person family in the building tonight. They've got a lot to cheer for, including another tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Andre White Jr., product out of Harrisburg High School in Pennsylvania.
Boy, I don't know if we can overhype what this defense is doing right now. I mean, look, South Carolina is a struggling football team, but they're not completely inept on offense. They have playmakers. They got deep running back group. They have talented tight ends. They have 6 total yards right now.
They had 11 in the first half. Nolan flush from the pocket and took a shot as he was aiming for a first down. That's going to leave him 3rd and 1.
It's a good job by Nolan, making a quick decision there to pick up some yards with his legs. Just doubled their production.
Again, this time it's Damani Richardson.
Huge play by Damani Richardson. Oh, he's coming hard off this edge, but watch how quickly he redirects. He's coming right off this edge, but watch the redirect. Bam, right there, puts his foot in the ground, wraps up Marshawn Lloyd. Well, South Carolina, really no choice.
Going for it on 4th and 3. Nolan delivers it on time, but can't get to the sticks. This defensive performance evoking memories of the Wrecking Crew. Injured player for the Aggies, Tyree Johnson.
Boy, a collective gasp here by the A&M fan base as they realize Tyree Johnson is down. He's had a heck of a night so far. Down and didn't move for a while. He's going to be rushing off the edge on that play. Sitting up. Johnson's going to be at the top of the screen here. Right here in a 2-point stance. Working on Justin Turntine again.
Gamecocks failed to convert on 4th down.
That's, you hate to see that. Pretty much a non-contact injury it looked like there. It wasn't even really cutting or going full speed. That does not look good.
So a turnover on downs. Zach Calzada has it for A&M. And they go with A-Chain again. Pardon me, this is Amari Daniels, and he's getting in on the fun. Got stood up by Foster at the end of a 12-yard run.
Boy, what's not working?
Right
right now for Texas A&M. Zone, gap scheme, little gap scheme run here, 2 pullers, everybody else blocking down. And
Jimbo calls that play horn. He's been running that one for 25 years.
Still working. Toot that horn.
Beep.
That was the weakest horn I've ever heard. Here's Amari Daniels. That was like a Ford Fiesta horn. I expect you to be more like a 250.
You've been riding in your Mini Cooper too much.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a 4-door Mini Cooper. I'd like to thank the folks at the airport in Dallas for allowing me to make the drive instead of flying into College Station.
I feel like a Mini Cooper fits you. It's just, yep.
Yeah, we'll get Big Cat to the rescue on that one.
2nd and 3 for A&M. Here's Daniels again. The worst SEC loss in South Carolina history came to Florida in 1995, lost by 56, but they were able to score in that game. Big Maroon shutout going through 3 quarters. Jimbo said he loves it here. We'll dive into that next.
This right now, and I don't want. It's in October right now. I love being here. This is the job I wanted. I'm being here. I got a great contract. I have an unbelievable chancellor. Have an unbelievable president. Unbelievable AD. That we're building something. We're recruiting great players. I really believe we're on the process of building something great. I plan on being here and fulfilling this contract and doing everything. My family has roots here. I got ranches here. I hunt here. I love everything about this place.
He loves to score tonight. That one incomplete. Cole, what did you think when you heard Jimbo's response when asked about the LSU opening?
A lot of people focused on the direction that he may or may not be going. I focused on one of the best humble brags that I've heard dropped at a press conference in my entire life, with Jimbo Fisher talking about not having a ranch here in Texas, but ranches here in Texas. I usually drop that with multiple salads in front of me, but he's actually dropping it via property.
Well, one here, one in West Virginia. He is, you've seen a little bit of the ranch. It's got the little Brazos running along the edge in the Marty McGee promo. Seth Small just tied the A&M record for career field goals. 44-0 A&M. I'll tell you about the athletic director's perspective after this.
Game time.
Ross York, the athletics director here at Texas A&M, oddly enough, talking to him about the timing of extending Jimbo this summer. The Aggies have Texas to thank for that, at least in one form or fashion. Texas and Oklahoma announcement after SEC Media Days that they'd be coming to the SEC. And Ross said, we saw the upheaval in college football. We saw the shifting landscapes. He said, we want Jimbo here. We've got great momentum. Let's lock him down even farther. So that's what they did. You think Jimbo is giving consideration to LSU? Do we take him for his word, everything he said on Monday?
Well, like, how many times have coaches over the course of history always said, I'm here, I love it here, and then they're gone 2 days later? I'm not saying that's Jimbo, but I'm just saying that's your response. It's what you have to say as a coach. Do I think any coach should listen to an offer from LSU? Absolutely. It's one of the premier jobs in all of college football. So is this one, though.
Right.
So I don't think there's a reason to leave.
Certainly adding to the element is Ross's predecessor, Scott Woodward, is now the athletic director at LSU. Not only did he give Jimbo Fisher this big contract, 10 years, $750 at the beginning, getting him from Florida State, but he also was with them while in Baton Rouge when Jimbo was on Saban's staff. They won the 2003 national championship. So there's a lot of very real connections between Jimbo, not just Jimbo, but other members of his staff too, and the job at LSU. Here's Zaquandre White. Cole, how do you break it down, putting yourself in Jimbo's shoes? Stay at A&M where you've got this incredible long-term contract, or flirt with LSU? It actually wouldn't even be flirting. You'd think the job would be his if he wanted.
If I'm Jimbo Fisher, I don't take the LSU job right now. And I agree with Jordan. I think the LSU job is easily a top 5 job in all of college football. But based on what Jimbo is building, how it's being built, you go look at where his recruiting class ranks currently today, how he's recruited in the past, the focus, the emphasis on the line of scrimmage, the guys that he's been able to bring into this program, the support that he has from the fans, the relationship that he has with Ross Bjork. I just don't think you make the move right now. Not with the direction and the trajectory of Texas A&M and some of the things behind the scenes at LSU that could continue to come out over the next few years, I don't know why you would risk trying to rebuild something else.
Nolan only got his hand on that one, and he will fall on it. There's certainly meddling going on in the LSU job with Ed Orgeron and his ouster. But I go back to the contract that Jimbo has right now. There is no buyout.
Right.
So he is free to leave with no financial repercussions towards the university or coming out of his pocket. Can he get a deal that good at LSU?
No. I don't think so. I mean, I guess if he was their one and only target, they'd have to offer that. Right? But I don't think they would do that. They've been burned too much over the course of the recent history with coaches.
Jason Brown in a quarterback dials one deep into double coverage and incomplete.
And things not ending up the way they wanted to. So I'm just not sure he's going to get a better contract, more resources. He's not.
Right.
I mean,
but here's the wrinkle, and here's the one that's easy to point to that would lean someone towards LSU. The last 3 head coaches at LSU have each won a national championship. 2 of those eventually got fired. Why it's a top 5 job in college football.
And you could attribute that to the recruiting hotbed of Louisiana being right there, keeping a lot of the top recruits in state. But I think Jimbo's got a pretty good thing going here. Grass isn't always greener just because there's a little bit more money.
Well, what's really interesting about that is people responded to his press conference and they said every coach should say this. Every coach should treat openings like this. 4th down now for South Carolina, 4th and 10. Well, not every coach can answer that honestly and say, I have everything I need at my current job. And he has everything he needs. The only thing lacking, the results. Brown buys time, needs 10 for a first down, incomplete. We got a flag on the play. We've got 3 flags on the play. I don't think Aggies, though, are going to rest easily until the new head coach at LSU is announced.
No, not at all. Because you know LSU is going to be extremely aggressive. And for LSU, this is not a who's the hot coordinator, who's a hot group of 5 coach.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 5. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot and will carry an automatic first down. Then after the play, we had unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9 of the defense, his first of the game. It'll be half the distance from the goal to the goal from the succeeding spot, first down.
Now this is a job for LSU that they want to go after a proven winner at the highest level, someone that's either got a national championship or is consistently placing their team in a position to do so. Jimbo fits that bill. There's obvious interest from LSU, but
Brown getting into it once again, trying to keep the shutout intact. Brown hands it off. Here's Lloyd, and he is in. Touchdown, South Carolina, and the Gamecocks will avoid what would have been their worst shutout loss in SEC history.
Well, I tell you what, penalties definitely helped out there, but a lot to build on that drive. You saw Zaquandre White with a big run to start the drive. Marshawn Lloyd there punching it in at the end, the redshirt freshman. Like I said, the South Carolina team, I mean, this game is completely out of hand. But this is not a terrible South Carolina football team. That's why I think it speaks very highly of how Texas A&M has played on both sides of the ball tonight. There's some talent. There's stuff you can build around if you're Shane Beamer here in year 1.
First score of the game for South Carolina. Jimbo Fisher orchestrating another big SEC win.
And guys, hair game day is every day. Our training doesn't stop.
Do it again, run it again. Round face, straight hair.
Short on back and sides and long on top.
Nice work, Taylor.
Being a sport clip stylist takes a strong skill set.
Finger curls.
And strong fingers. Only the best make the cut.
That's Sport Clips.
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Introducing the first stain worthy of the yellow tag. New Yellowwood Protector semi-transparent stain and water repellent. Find a Yellowwood dealer near you.
turned hard-working days into happy nights. With the #1 selling brand in America, Real Steel. Find yours at over 10,000 local steel dealers.
Welcome to Allstate, where we've just lowered our auto rates. And savings like that follow you everywhere. Now get new lower auto rates with Allstate. Because better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click or call for a lower auto rate today.
I need to try it first.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. And in part by new Coca-Cola Zero Sugar and Wendy's Hot and Crispy Fries. Try the best combo ever today.
On a warm Thursday night in Soda City, Kenny Hill and Texas A&M kicked off SEC Network's football coverage with a 52-28 win over South Carolina. 680 yards of offense that night for A&M with Brent Musburger, Jesse Palmer, and our dear friend Kaylee Hartung on the call. A&M has won every game in this series. Kickoff will go out of bounds. Let's take a look at the Mercedes road to the championship. What do you got on the Georgia quarterback situation?
It's an interesting situation. Kirby Smart came out this week and said, we will play both moving forward, and depending on the game plan, one might be better than the other. When they need someone to use their legs, it's Stetson Bennett. Someone to throw it a little more, it's JT Daniels, and that makes zero sense to me. Absolutely zero sense.
Is Stetson Bennett Michael Vick?
No! He's had 2 games in his career with more than 22 rushing yards. His high is 41. I think they need to hand it to JT Daniels. If they're going to win a national championship, if they're going to win an SEC championship, they're going to need somebody that can stretch the field and be an absolute threat throwing the football. Stetson's been efficient. He's been great. He's got a very high floor, a low ceiling.
Yeah. Here's Blake Bowes, new quarterback for A&M. Played the final drive against New Mexico State earlier, and he will hand it off with nothing doing in the ground game. Hey, by the way, I have great news for ISO producer Kevin Clark. You know he wants to drive that tank at the GI Museum?
Yeah.
Dana Wells has reached out. Her son volunteers at the GI Museum down Highway 6. Tank rides available the weekend of November 13th and 14th. We're getting Kevin in a tank, even if he has to have the weekend off.
Go. Can we go too? Like what?
We might have a game, but yeah, I mean, I'd come back to drive a tank.
Absolutely.
Aggies going deep into their into the roster, and a couple of runs here in the fourth quarter for LJ Johnson at a Cy-Fair High School in Cypress, Texas.
This is the part where we throw our notes out the window because we only got a 2 deep on here, and they're getting everybody in.
Deep ball and incomplete. I think this is the time where we go deep into the notes. We did see an odd quarterback number during warmups, did we not?
Cole? 22.
Oh no, you got to go up into the 30s. Get into the 30s. I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback in a college football game take a snap wearing a number in the 30s.
Connor McCollum, 22, was slinging it around.
Actually Cooper, but his great friends do call him Connor.
Yeah, sometimes.
The font is
it's tiny
small.
font, and you're holding it. I'm leaning over. There's no lights up here. We're sweating like greased monkeys. I can't hold on to a ball.
Nick Constantino trying to earn a scholarship, first punt of the night, and he caught it off clean, and it is a boomer down to the 15. And Josh Vann with a solid return. Let's look at our hometown connection, brought to you by T-Mobile. Each week we
Howdy, Aggs. Ethan Fisher here. I just want to say thank you so much for all the support and all the donations that you have given us. The 12th man was outstanding Saturday night, and I just want to say that our new balance is $132,312.64. Thank you guys so much.
Kids First Fund, created by Jimbo and Candy Fisher, the fund to fight against Fanconi anemia, a rare blood disorder that affects their son Ethan, thousands of other children each year. They've raised over $180,000 since Monday night. And that was one of the things Jimbo talked to us about. He said, what I love about this place is, yes, football matters, but Aggies as a whole are so caring and loving that they know life isn't easy. They know throw you a curveball, you'll have ups and downs, and they're there to support you if you're part of the family each and every turn.
Another reason to stay put, huh?
There's a lot of them, no doubt. Be a pretty good birthday present for Ross Bjork, celebrated this weekend. Brown hands it off. Jason Brown in at quarterback for South Carolina. Luke Doty lost for the year. Zeb Nolan hangs up his coaching clipboard to come in, and Brown transferred in from St. Francis, Pennsylvania. Threw for a career high 383 and an overtime loss to Sacred Heart, playing in the Northeast Conference. FCS sophomore honorable mention All-American at St. Francis. Four-man rush on 3rd and 5. Complete. Van will turn it upfield. That was not comfortable. 15 extra coming.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 11. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Woo. Deuce Harmon.
I got a name of a few chiropractors if you need it tomorrow, Josh. Tell you what, I've been pretty impressed with Zaquandre White, number 11 here for South Carolina. He's kind of been that third, sometimes even fourth back, but they use him as a wide receiver at times. He's been exclusively in the backfield the last few drives. I tell you what, he's got some juice.
Junior college transfer down the sideline to Van. Intercepted. Tyreek Chapman. And this one all Texas A&M tonight. Tom Hart, Jordan Rogers, Cole Kublik. You had a radar gun down on the field earlier today. You want to explain that?
I just find it interesting sometimes to have a way to measure and compare quarterbacks, right? A lot of times you say, hey, this guy's got a big arm, right? He can really spin it. How do you really know, right? I mean, yeah, you can see it, but you got a radar gun down there and was measuring a few of Zach Calzada's throws and trying to compare it to some of the NFL Combine and the guys that are playing right now at a high level.
So he looks better. The running game looks really good. And overall, this A&M program, after Arkansas and Mississippi State losses, the win against Alabama, how do you characterize how much better as a program they look now?
Well, huge improvements on both sides of the football. Obviously, offensively, they found out how to make Calzada comfortable, what they needed to do, how they needed to adapt this offense around him. Very different than Haynes King, obviously, right? That's how they started the season. Everything was tailored for a more mobile quarterback. The concepts, the run game. You got to switch that now when you have Zach Calzada, a strong-armed kid that loves to stay in the pocket, and he's been extremely accurate, and they have pushed the ball downfield. As we showed those numbers earlier, one of the worst in the SEC, second worst in plays 20-plus, dead last in plays of 30-plus. I think they're going to jump up a few spots after tonight.
Calzada out of the game and Blake Bose in, and they'll try to run it again. This time Amari Dance. I just wanted to point out there's a fantastic article about the Calzada family that was written by Jose de Jesus Ortiz in Our Esquina, and it talks about the family years ago, generations ago, leaving Cuba and coming to the United States. It's a fantastic read. And for the Calzada family, and his dad was in a suite watching that game winner, or what made it a tie game against Alabama. And he was so focused on the catch, he didn't see that Zach had gotten hurt on the play. And there was some that thought that Alabama assumed he wasn't going to come back in the game. Speaking of injured players, Max Wright now being helped off the field. And A&M looking at a 2nd and 6. Pretty good night at the office. 461 yards of offense for A&M.
Tom, you didn't tell me I had something stuck in my teeth. We just went on camera and had something in my teeth. I don't know what it was. I had some trail mix. I was crushing a few golden Oreos a few minutes ago.
If somebody could rewind and screen grab that and put it on social media, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's probably there.
That's all right.
It's still there.
I came on this trip and I forgot a toothbrush.
Oh, you got any floss or a toothpick on you? Is it still stuck in there? No more on cameras. Hot take though. Me and Cole were talking about this in a break. Golden Oreos, better than regular Oreos.
Interesting. We've gotten to that point of the broadcast. I look forward to Cole's weekly Sunday rankings of top performers at the SEC, and on the flight home tomorrow, maybe he could rank Oreos.
Be glad to.
Cole likes the mega stuff, right?
Yeah, the double stuff in my
most
dreams.
stuff.
Broke it up.
How about that? Baylor Cup sighting.
Wow.
Been hearing about him for years from Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo told me before the game that he's finally healthy, ready to contribute, ready to be a guy that can help stretch the field, just another tight end that they can add. If Baylor Cup comes along, you got Caleb Chapman back in the lineup, you finally got your offensive line figured out. We could see this offense take some big steps here in the second half of the season.
Trying to replace Jay Sternberger. Broken ankle first scrimmage in 2019. Shoulder injury 2020. Injured fall camp this year. And back on the field. South Carolina came after it. Fair catch by Josh Vann. 44-7. Quick to break. Studio on the other side.
Studio, it's time for today's comeback moment, supplemented by Aflac. Thank you, Aflac. It is. You know, Ole Miss, it's not like they came from way behind. They did trail LSU 7-0, but they do go on to a dominant win, 31-17, and come from behind. Well, they lost 5 straight against the Tigers, so that streak comes to an end. Rebels, 31-17.
All right, Di, thanks. Back to action here. And South Carolina trying to get some going. Trey Atkins with the catch. Last time with less than 100 yards of offense. I've got 85 right now, 1973. Jason Brown could have picked up the first down. Looks like he will. The only thing left to be decided here is post-game meal.
It's a great question.
I don't know if Republic's going to have time for us.
It's 9:30.
Fuego's always available. We can drive up to West and get some kolaches. That's an option. You've never had a kolache?
I've never had a kolache.
Wow.
What is it?
It's just deliciousness. It's hot and it's a little sandwich with something stuffed in there. Maybe some sausage.
Who wouldn't want that?
I mean, until Jesse's Taqueria starts to be open overnight, we're going to be kind of out of luck with late games.
Yeah, I crushed some of those this morning. Actually, this afternoon. Cole, I still owe you for those tacos.
Owe me.
Yeah. I'll Venmo you.
Cash App only.
Second and 10. Room. All the way down the sideline, and a flag coming in late for Marshawn Lloyd's run. Freshman out of DeMatt the Catholic, known primarily for its great basketball tradition under Hall of Famer Morgan Wooten. Guys like Mike Bray, Danny Ferry.
Holding. Offense, number 13. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Second down.
That's going to come back.
E.J. Jenkins, 6'7" tight end on the outside. Yeah, right up here at the top of your screen.
He's actually playing exclusively wide receiver tonight. I talked to wide receiver coach Justin Stepp before the game and said that they feel like they're pretty good at tight end because of what you brought up earlier with Jaheim Bell.
Yeah.
Receiver numbers down a little bit, so they were going to give him some time at X, let him play strictly wide receiver in this game.
It's a big wide receiver at 6'7", 243.
He ain't hiding holds. That guy.
On 2nd and 5, a bullet from Brown, complete for a first down.
Tell you what, I know Brown and this South Carolina offense are working on some reserves on the Texas A&M side, but I've been pretty impressed.
Yeah.
The ball's coming out quickly. He's been accurate. He's made a few plays with his legs.
He's pushed it down the field.
Yeah, this feels like they got a little more energy. Again, I know it's not the starting A&M defense out there, but look what I did.
Yeah, look what you did. Intercepted by Texas A&M Deuce Harmon.
It's the last time I talk good about a backup quarterback. He goes and throws an interception.
No more energy.
This ball just a little bit behind as Aquandre Wright tries to make a play. It's a great job by Deuce Harmon there, who had the good block on the Anaya Smith punt return. That's just salt in the wound.
We talked to him before the game, Cole. You asked him, you know, what is the message and how do you continue get everybody pulling the rope in the same direction? He said the values that we teach to our kids and that we preach to our kids, we need to make sure that we are showing those own values ourselves as a coaching staff.
And I think sometimes that's difficult because think of all the different tasks that a college football coach has to take in. When you look at film study, you look at game planning, installation of a game plan, you look at discipline, you look at managing the roster, managing your players, going to class, their personal lives that you have to try to help with, obviously practice, travel, game, then they have their own families. It's not easy. And if you're going to talk about caring for one another, loving for one another, and then obviously trying to help everybody next to you, which we talked to Kingsley and Ingvar, we've talked to assistant coaches, we talked to coordinators, and all of them have that same message that, you know what, we just feel like guys care about us more. We feel like there's a lot more trust. We feel like our confidence is back. So he's been able to inject that into these guys, but like you're saying, Tom, you have to find a way, especially when things are not going great, to continuously let your players know that you're living that life too. You're not just asking them to, you're also going down the same road that you're asking them to travel every day.
Think about it for a second. Everything Cole just listed off, all the responsibilities of a head coach, all the things you have to do that are task oriented every week, every game week. It's no wonder that oftentimes culture is not your top priority. Or not that you don't want it to be, but there's so much to do that sometimes it gets put on the back burner. And what do we see at LSU? There's a little bit of a culture issue going on there, right? Revolving door with some players they lost 2019, assistant coaching hires that didn't go the right way, and you're so task oriented as a head coach, sometimes you're just trying to fix problems, and you're not growing the culture that helps police and stop those problems before they even start.
LJ Johnson Jr., I think, add to that, being a first-year head coach, a new staff.
That's why it's even more important, right?
Yeah. Well, he has been under some sensational coaches, most recently Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. He was with Kirby at Georgia, Sylvester Croom at Mississippi State, 3 Hall of Famers, Beamer, his dad obviously Fulmer at Spurrier. Those are some really good staffs. Like, these great coaches had great staffs. So it's not just the head coach, it's those underneath him.
I think it was a great hire. The more I'm around Shane Beamer, the more I believe that he has the DNA to help build something special. And the way he approaches things, and the way he looks at how you build the program, what you prioritize. It doesn't happen overnight in this conference, especially if you're not one of the top in recruiting. You know, a Georgia, an Alabama, an LSU, an A&M. It doesn't happen overnight. So it's going to take some time.
Are programs like South Carolina relative to those that you just mentioned as a disadvantage in the name, image, and likeness era?
Absolutely. 100%. I think that's a great point. This name, image, and likeness era, you have a fan base or an alumni base like Texas A&M does, like Alabama does, like Georgia does. I mean, there's a lot of money that goes around in these schools that don't have the winning tradition, that don't have alumni bases that are as big, that with deep pockets. Yes, that is the way recruiting in college football is going. You got to offer these kids more than just an education and a chance to play in the SEC these days.
4th and 3. And nothing doing here. And it will turn it over on downs. South Carolina gets it back. More football action in 10 seconds. A&M has outgained South Carolina 480 to 121 tonight. Missed the shutout with lone touchdown for South Carolina. Did you ever get that thing out of your teeth?
You know what? I was just looking, and it's still kind of there. It was really dark, and I got most of it out. Okay. So I think if we do go on camera at some point, I don't know if it'll be as visible. But I'm still not referring to you as a close friend anymore for allowing me to go on camera with something stuck in my teeth.
First down run by Zaquandre Wright. He transferred to South Carolina from Iowa Western. Just across the river from Omaha. First team junior college All-America for the Reavers. Reavers are River Pirates. I know you were curious about that.
Interesting.
North Fort Myers High School played for Ernest Graham, longtime NFL running back. And the former Reaver dances his way to the outside. Ooh, oh, heads up. 11 on 11. Harmon on White. Over the middle, complete.
Love to see that, right? You got a young, not a young quarterback, but an inexperienced quarterback in Jason Brown. Throw an interception by being not careful, not accurate with the football, leaving it on the back hip, and that time in tight coverage puts the ball exactly where he needed to. Didn't even blink. You got to do that as a quarterback. Got to be able to have a short memory, like a goldfish. You know, that's why they're the
Ted.
happiest animal in the world. Short memory, 10-second memory.
I don't know if we were watching Ted Lasso or Finding Nemo. Jason Brown, great vision, and he fires it incomplete, just a hair low to Marshawn Lloyd. Speaking of double takes, you took a double take when you saw Antonio Cromartie on the field with A&M. He's a graduate assistant working with the offense.
It's a big old guy that looked like a player, and he was kind of running routes with DBs, and I'm like, that guy looks like he can play. And I'm like, wait a minute. That looks a lot like Antonio Cromartie. Had no idea. There's a resource, huh?
Yeah.
Again, another benefit of being at a school like A&M. You can get those guys to come help out.
Brown on 3rd and 7. Well, he's put together a nice little drive here. This is to carry on Joyner. A good game against Vandy with 3 catches.
And really good job working to the right, back to the left to find the carry on Joyner. Former quarterback. He's playing a lot better at receiver.
Nice little spin.
Boy.
South Carolina's playing this final drive like it's a tie game. Timeout taken. 26 seconds left.
Again, you asked at halftime, right? What do you do down 31? Well, what do you do at the end of the game down 44-7? You work on 2-minute. You work on end of the game scenarios, right? I mean, that's what you have to do. This team needs reps. They need opportunities to build and grow, make mistakes in these situations that are going to be very important at some point when it's a close game like it was against Vandy. and they closed it out. So great tape to put here for Jason Brown in this offense to correct tomorrow on Sunday. Talk about end of game scenarios.
Here's what they're playing forward. Florida on the road at Missouri, Auburn, and Clemson. And Clemson lost today on the road at Pitt.
That's a rough little ending.
If you make strides, there are winnable games in this
totally.
stretch.
Yeah, Missouri's definitely a winnable game with how they're playing right now.
That rivalry game becomes one that you can save your season with.
Totally. Especially the way Clemson's playing.
And you try to capture momentum. What a bolster that would be, not just to Shane Beamer, but the Carolina fan base. Snap one right by Brown. He's going to scoop and try to make something happen. Finds the core. So after an A&M score, you're supposed to kiss your date. What happens when the football comes into the crowd? Take it home, I guess.
Yeah. Heads up play by Jason Brown here. That's like the third bad snap we've seen.
There have been a bunch more that they've actually found a way to haul in.
Yeah, totally.
That's a problem that's going to have to be addressed this week.
Early movement.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. It's third down. Please reset the game clock to 19 seconds.
You don't have to throw it in the end zone here, but a couple big bodies out there. E.J. Jenkins, Trayvon Kenyon. E.J. right there, 6'7", 6'4" for Kenyon, the tight end down here at the bottom. Might throw a little jump ball to one of those guys.
Brown fires. Great hands, and it's hauled in for a South Carolina touchdown by Trayvon Kenyon, just as you said, at a Wake Forest high school.
Yeah, they want to go to Kenyon early on this on a corner route, but obviously Brown flushed out of the pocket here. He's looking left, sees the pressure, and this is a great job. He's made some really good plays late in this game with his legs, and again, throw it up and away to a big body tight end. You can see he's calling for it. Throw it up. Great body control on the sideline. Been pretty impressed with Jason Brown.
Where has Jaheim Bell been in this game?
Absent.
Point after good.
I think just one target on the day for Jaheim Bell. You know, I came into this game with my notes thinking, man, he's going to be a focal point. Last 2 games, he had 10 receptions and just wasn't really a part of this offense. But again, talking about Shane Beamer and rebuilding this program, they got some big bodies. They got some talent.
Cole, what is it that Shane Beamer likes about the tight end position?
Well, it's matchups. We heard him talk about what could they do to find ways to move the ball in this game, and he talked about moving the strength of your offense, being able to go with more heavy packages, and then having guys like Jaheim Bell. My first question for the defensive staff when we came into this game was, how will you identify Jaheim Bell? Because you identify him as an H, as a tight end, as a wide receiver?
I think it's interesting, Cole. Explain why that needs to be decided upon for a defensive staff.
That's going to determine your matchup, and that's going to determine your personnel grouping. So if you determine him as a wide receiver, you're probably going to, and there's 4 or 5 wide receivers, you're going to play nickel or dime. So you're going to put a smaller, faster, twitchier player on that you think you can handle him. Well, that gives me the advantage in the run game, because I know I got a bigger body that we can motion back in close to the football, and then we can go run game on you. It's all about the numbers. And when you have guys that are flexible that can't necessarily be identified, you're going to be able to find a mismatch.
.78 plays tonight for Texas A&M's offense, 479 yards. Nearly 300 on the ground, 292 the current total. And A&M to this point averaging better than 6 yards a play. victory formation for A&M after a 41-0 halftime lead. Get you ready for the studio post-game show, but first we'll have more coming your way from Kyle Field. It gets him every time. Every time. 44-14 the final. 8th straight win for A&M against South Carolina. They're now 8-0. We'll hear from Jimbo right after this. Kyle Field where A&M knocked off South Carolina 44-14. Let's go down to the field. Cole standing by with Jimbo and a kid named Jack in the background.
Coach Fisher, I know everything works better offensively when your offensive line's rolling like it was tonight.
Yes, when you control the line of scrimmage, you can run the ball, you can win it down distance, throw it when you want, play actions, and our guys did a really good job of doing, and our backs are doing a really good job.
I know one of the bigger matchups you were concerned about is how good that South Carolina defensive line was, and your group handled it very well.
Yeah, we did a good job. They got good players up there, man. They're physical in the front, and we kept pounding away, and our backs make some really patient, good runs. They have good patience.
I know you're not going to go too far ahead, but you're getting more guys back. You got guys back at wide receiver, guys back at tight end. Your O-line kind of looks the way that you want it. What does that say about the future for this season?
Well, I think we got to make a run. We got, and it's 8 games. We need an off week. I don't care, 8 weeks without an off week is tough. Next week's get better week. We got to get back to fundamentals, work on some game plans for the future, but get better and get ready to get these guys healthy. And then I say these last 4 games, a lot of ball left.
Defensively, when you can win with 4 up front, I mean that opens up everything else.
It does. Our defensive line our defensive line controlled the whole game. Both lines of scrimmage for us, we did a great job of. And then later, when I'm disappointed, we got to get some of our younger guys playing better. But our starters and the 1s and 2s right there did a great job.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
A great job all the way around. It was a 31-0 primary score at the half, and they would go on to a 44-14 final. SEC football final is coming up next. Plenty to talk about. Let's get you back to the studio. Here's Dari.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. As we are, forget